And so when Dad joined AA, I became a member of Alateen, and I learnt a little bit about AA. And then when I was 15, I started drinking at my grandmother's 80th birthday. I got drunk there and at wedding receptions. And that changed my thinking. And I pushed AA out of my life. I didn't want a bar of it. When I hit about 16, I became a weekend drinker, going out with my friends, and I didn't drink the same as my friends. I was always the one blind drunk, and I didn't think I had a problem because it was only weekends. But I didn't see the thing that was happening with my friends. I eventually left home, a bit disgruntled with my parents, and I started getting into trouble with the law. I met a girl, got married, had a couple of kids, and I thought that was going to control my drinking. I've always had it in my mind to control it, but I could never stay controlled. It was crazy. I went to my first AA meeting at 21 years of age. I didn't like it, and so I sat on the wagon for 12 months. I didn't drink. Then I went to a wedding, and I got talked into having a drink, and I got drunk. I don't remember what happened. My wife at the time said that I was pretty drunk. I thought I'd only had the one drink, and the next day I planned to have a drink again, and within 6 months my wife had enough, and she threatened to leave me, and I said go. She was starting to cut into my drinking, and I let my wife and 2 children go, and I ended up losing my job. I had a car crash at 23. I was in hospital for 6 weeks with a fractured pelvis and stitches in my eyebrow. And I used to look at myself and I'd think, this is what booze has done, And my father used to say to me, jail, hospital, death. And and I used to sit there and in hospital thinking, well, I've done the jail, lockups, and I've done hospital now. Is death next? And a week after getting out of hospital, I went to a party and got back on the booze. It's just been totally baffling. And I believe God kept me from going to the main jail. I had lots and lots of lockups through alcohol. At age 26, I moved to the Riverland and got in trouble with the law again. And at 28 years of age, I swore off the booze, never to drink again. And that was the worst sort of thought pattern I've learnt today, because it put that much pressure on me. Within 3 years of having that swearing off, I had suicidal thoughts, and I picked up a drink, got in trouble with the law. I screamed, "Poor me," found AA, and then dumped it for my old friends again. And my head just did not want anything to do with the fellowship of AA. I stayed sober for 7 years. In that 7 years, I couldn't handle problems, and I picked up amphetamines. So I switched the bitch for the witch, and I thought I was the smartest person in the world, because I didn't have to pick up a drink. I tried religion. That didn't really do anything for me. Then God put me back in AA. It's a long story, but I ended up going to AA. And I hung around for 3 years. I was sick in the head, and I met hopeless drunks as I thought they were hopeless drunks. They were coming to meetings drunk, and I ended up getting a resentment with a couple of members, and I picked up a drink. I lost my licence, and I was always trying to swear off the booze, and it was really hard. At one stage there, I had 9 months up, and I got talked into having a birrel, and I said to the person, "This is alcohol," and he goes, "Only a little bit, 0.05%. I said, "But it's still alcohol." He talked me into having a drink, and I don't know how long before I think it was the next weekend, I bought a carton, went to a friend's place, and I swore just to do this on a Friday, buy a carton on a Friday, and that lasted for that one weekend, and it was a daily drink again. I lost my licence again. Only just got it back, and then I lost it again for 3 years, and I had other problems in my court appearances because I picked up a big resentment with the police and set fire to one of their police stations. Thank God nothing major got burnt, but the magistrate gave me one more chance. He put a heap of conditions on me that I had to see the correctional office and get piss tested, and if I come up with alcohol in my piss, I would go back to court and probably see jail. So that was all on my head. My workmates, I was starting to upset them. Looking back at it, at that stage, I thought they were upsetting me, but I was actually upsetting them, and I was sort of going quietly nuts because I knew I couldn't drink, but I wanted to have a drink. I wanted to drink sociably, and deep down I knew I couldn't, but it was just really making me nuts. And I ended up ringing a guy that I knew from a previous time in AA, and he took me to a meeting, and this hopeless drunk was now sober, and there was a member there that I'd met in the past who'd moved to the Riverland and was willing to get me to meetings. This hopeless drunk that I thought was a hopeless drunk had 6 years of sobriety up, and it showed me that AA did work. All the little things were there to give me the best chance. I was desperate to get off the booze, and so I started going to meetings and started to look at the 12 steps. I actually took it off the wall and started to put it in my life, and I learned how selfish I was, and how alcohol was cunning, baffling, and powerful. I feared it. I used to fear alcohol, and that would send me nuts. I couldn't deal with it. And it helped me deal with the cravings. I had really bad cravings for alcohol, and AA taught me how to deal with them and how to deal with life's problems. Today I don't fear alcohol. If it's there, I don't have to drink it. It doesn't have to be a part of my life, and that's beautiful. I was told life gets better, and the 9 years that I've been sober, it gets better and better, like almost daily. Life is getting better, and it's only one day at a time. And I was taught to forgive myself for the things that I'd done. And I was told a drink won't fix anything; it'll make things worse. And I've got to keep going to meetings to remind myself. I'm very easily talked into things, and my past is my biggest asset. I love that little phrase, because if I forget what I used to do, and I used to always forget that I was always in trouble, so I go to meetings, and in my shares, it reminds me that I've got a problem with forgetting, and I like to remember. Since I haven't drank, I've not gone to any courts. I've got so much gratitude with I've got my family back in my life. My now adult children, they've got me in their life again, and all it would take is one drink to destroy that. My son, he was really at arm's length with me. He'd heard all my bullshit, and I didn't think I was ever going to get another chance with him. And then one day I had a major car accident, and it actually turned people to actually look at me and see what I'd done. So I'm so grateful that my children have forgiven me, and I've got little grandchildren now, and I just know that that one drink will take everything away. I need to keep coming back to AA to remind myself that too, because I will forget, and I've been in AA so long now. I've seen and heard lots of people, and I take notice of the people that have not come to AA for a number of years or time, and they pick up a drink. I don't want to be in that category. So coming to AA doesn't hurt. If anything, it's great for me to have a social life, and the amount of people that I've met, it's incredible. I've just got to keep going to these meetings and meeting all these different people and that I call my friends now, and it's just really, really great. I practice the steps in my life as much as I can, and I've got a good understanding of life now, and to forgive and to be forgiven. It's a great thing. Yeah, I think I've just about finished my share.
What's your concept of God in all of this, Stevon?
God today is a loving God, a caring God. As a child, I went to Sunday school and went to church and that, and I was always threatened that God will punish me and all the old thoughts of church. But today I look at God as a loving God. Like I've said before, God's kept me out of jails and He's kept me out of trouble, in that sense. With this car accident that I was in, I should have been killed. God's kept me alive. So I've got a healthy attitude to God as I understand Him. And I choose to call it God. God does for me what I can't do for myself, and it's a great weight off my mind, because when I've got a problem, I just give it to God and just say, can't handle it, and something will happen. If I don't try and fight whatever's happening, but I just give it to God and say, look, it's too hard, something will happen. It's a miraculous sort of system. Yeah. So does that help?
Yeah, you say you're up in the Riverland. Is there many meetings up there, and do you get to many meetings? What's the format up that way?
There's 5 meetings dotted around the different towns. Kingston on Murray is Sunday 2:00. Sunday 2:00. Loxton have Tuesday 8:00, and also a Thursday lunchtime meeting. Renmark have a Wednesday book study, big book study, and Berry have a 12 by 12 traditions and 12 steps meeting on a Thursday 8:00. The Renmark meeting starts at 7 on a Wednesday. So yeah, it's we've got a bit of variety up here. There's not a great lot of members, but we try to get to as many meetings as we can. Yeah.
Yeah, and how long's your meeting been going up there?
Kingston is my home group, and that's been going for 9 years. It actually helped me with dealing with cravings, because I kept having a drink I'd come to AA, and then once every couple of weeks, I'm not really sure what the time frame was, I just needed to have a drink, and then Kingston was going to be formed, and I needed to, it sort of gave me a chance to stop drinking, I had this new home group, and I actually got asked to to be the secretary, and got to have 6 months up. And the person that asked me, I just said, "Oh, sorry, I've just had a drink," and the disappointment, that I've seen in this person's face, really threw at me all the disappointing things that I'd done to people throughout my drinking, and so that's a big thing that I don't like to forget either. The disappointment that I gave this person. So, Kingston has been going for 9 years. We've just had an anniversary, and it's quite a strong membership. Yeah.
All right, thanks for that, Steve. That was fantastic, mate. Yeah, you really covered a lot of stuff there, especially about being in Alateen and being introduced to Alcoholics Anonymous in an early age, and then still rebelling sort of to not join for whatever, it is a cunning, baffling disease.
Yes.
And I think you explained that quite well in your share there, mate. So thanks for sharing today, and keep coming back.
Thank you.
Thanks, Steve. Stevon.
No worries.
Bye now.
I'll catch you later. Bye.
Catch you, bye.